Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel, Tara Talks Books, where we talk everything bookish. So today I'm going to be doing my top 10 books of 2023. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Tara, it is like halfway through 2024. I know. So I ended up putting this off because I ended up moving across states in the beginning of January and like starting a new job and all of that like kind of happened. And then I put this like to the back burner, but I realized I really just want to do it, and it's okay that it's 6 months late. And just because I read so many good books last year that I really just want to give them the spotlight that they deserve, because I love them, and just to share my love of these books with you guys. So hopefully you'll enjoy my top 10. Without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. And this one is like a basketball sports romance. It is between Iris and August is a basketball player. They end up meeting like randomly one night. I believe it's like at a sports bar, and they're both like watching like the basketball game. And so like they meet each other, and there is this like instant connection. They really just like, they're like, okay, this is something. However, she's already in a relationship with someone else, and unfortunately he won't let her go. And it really delves into domestic abuse, and there is sexual abuse in this as well, not at the hands of the hero. So it definitely spans a long time, and there are those trigger warnings in it, but this was just such a lovely book to see Iris get herself out of this situation and just grow, and then ultimately find her way back to August. Number 9 is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and this is obviously a mystery thriller, and this follows Rowan, and she like stumbles across an ad in like the paper or online, and to be a nanny, a live-in nanny at almost like this secluded smart house. And so she ends up getting the job and starting to nanny for these kids, but definitely some creepy, weird things start to happen within this house, and it's definitely atmospheric. And then at the beginning of the book, you already know that one of the children ended up dead. And she's writing her lawyer in jail saying like, hey, she's innocent. And it goes from there. The twist at the end of this, I definitely didn't see coming. And I really enjoyed that aspect. I liked kind of not being able to guess what was going to happen, as well as I understood once some things are revealed, you understand the character's motivations, because sometimes in mystery thrillers I just can't get behind the character motivations, and in this one I definitely could, and I could understand kind of why she made some of the decisions that she did, and it definitely is a good one. I loved this mystery thriller. Coming in at number 8 is A Rogue of One's Own by Evie Dunmore. I loved this historical romance. This follows Lady Lucy, and she's dedicated her life to supporting suffragists and women in general. Unfortunately, this has made her a bit of an outcast in society. So she and the other suffragists buy a portion of a publishing house, but not to her knowledge, so did Tristan Valentine, her childhood nemesis. So this throws a wrench into their plans. He would be willing to give her the majority share of the company for a night in her bed. Ooh, scandalous. So I enjoyed this hate to love, at least on Lucy's end, romance. Tristan is just enough like protective hero, but has also been secretly pining for Lucy that he would do anything for her. He really is that good combination, and I loved that aspect. I enjoyed this one even more than the first one. So both Tristan and Lucy have had to endure family hardships, and I just loved that it showed their like character strength because of that. I loved the cat too. I also loved, there's a cute pun in here that just like sticks in my head because I love it so much, but he ends up getting a bunch of cards that come into the publishing house and they call them Valentine cards. And I don't know why I love that, but I love that pun so much. So this one is just such a lovely historical romance. I enjoyed it immensely. Coming in at number 7 is Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas. So this follows Lady Aline Marsden, and she is meant to marry someone in her own class, but she will risk everything to be with John McKenna, but they are discovered and he is forced out of Aline's life forever. So McKenna is unaware that Aline gave him up to save him. He comes back a powerful man out for revenge against Aline, who broke his heart, but the spark is still there, and he kind of has some questions left unanswered. And so it really goes from there. This is a second chance class difference forbidden love book. This had so much angst and tension. I wanted McKenna and Aline to be together. I did enjoy also the other romance in this as well, because this is kind of a two for one. The main couple is obviously McKenna and Aline, but there is another like fun couple in it as well that you get to see come together, and I really enjoyed that aspect. This was just lovely. Number 6, I have A Matter of Temptation by Stacy Reid. I just love Stacy Reid's writing. So this is a historical romance. This follows Mina, and Mina's brother has to duel the Earl of Creswick, but Mina knows he'll lose, so she goes in his stead. This leads to her working for Simon as his secretary because like their finances are in dire straits, which kind of led to the duel. And so anyways, he hires her on. However, of course, there is an attraction because Mina is clever and has a sense of humor that catches the eye of the Earl. However, Mina has a secret that could destroy them both. So this is like a forced proximity workplace romance. I loved how Mina was so joyful and playful, which led Simon to come out of his shell. The chemistry between Mina and Simon was also amazing. I loved that. I loved their duel in the beginning of the book. Their little meet cute was amazing. I just love this book, and I just really loved kind of like this selflessness that Mina had. She was so afraid that her secret was gonna ruin him and like his plans in like Parliament, that she was willing to give up her happiness so that he can, you know, gain all of his dreams. And I just love that. That is like just such devotion and true love. This was lovely. I love A Matter of Temptation. I love Stacy Reid. This is an excellent one. Coming in at number 5 is Caught Up by Liz Tomforty. So this one is a contemporary sports romance. It has a nanny heroine, single dad, coach's daughter, some of the tropes. So this is actually the 3rd book in the Windy City series. So Miller is a high-end pastry chef under a lot of pressure and can't create any new desserts. So she ends up taking a couple months off to kind of go and get like her mind right, like basically to kind of like clear her head. So she ends up taking a couple months off to clear her head and goes along with her dad, who is the coach of the baseball team. And this actually comes at a perfect time because Kai needs a nanny, as he is stretched too thin with being a single dad and the starting pitcher for the Chicago's MLB team. His coach puts his foot down and makes him hire his daughter Miller for the summer, and it goes from there. I love this one. I just love it. It's so just beautifully written. I loved the banter in this book. The scenes with Kai's son are so adorable because he really, he's like a part of the team too. Like the whole team helps take care of Kai's son, which is just adorable to see. I loved their camaraderie. It's just such amazingness. And I just love how like Miller calls him baseball daddy. It's so good. I just love this one. So number 4 is An Earl to Remember by Stacy Reed. And this is a historical romance. And are we even surprised that it's another Stacy Reed? Because I just love her books. This is the second book in the Unforgettable Love series. It can be read as a standalone though. So this follows Georgiana, and she ends up getting a job on the Earl of Stannis's yacht as a chef for like a multi-night party. The Earl of Stannis has a reputation of being a rake and is rumored to be like charming and handsome. Unfortunately for Georgiana, a misunderstanding gets her fired after one night as the chef on the yacht. This of course leaves her upset with the Earl, especially since her and her family needed this income. But her opportunity for retribution kind of washes up on shore with no memory of who he is. Georgiana ends up putting the Earl to work on her crumbling estate to kind of work off what he owes her, because he, like I said, his mistress ends up pushing him off the yacht and he gets amnesia, but he like kind of remembers her, and to kind of like save her reputation, she's like, that's my husband. And it goes from there. I really love this one. I loved the chemistry between Georgiana and Daniel. I loved seeing like Georgiana's passion for cooking in this. That came across on the page. I adored the sister relationship as well. And then how Daniel adored Georgiana's sisters as well. He really doted on them, and it caused like some swoon-worthy, adorable moments in the book, and I just love that. So number 3 is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This is a romance, a contemporary romance. This was about Hannah, who is an executive protection agent or a bodyguard. Her company is hired to protect Jack, who is like a superstar actor, very well known, while he goes home to Texas because his mom is sick. So Jack has a stalker, which is why he has the agency and that Hannah is guarding him. So he doesn't want any paparazzi or any extra stress of a potential stalker on his like mom while she's sick. And so obviously he hires the agency and Hannah becomes his bodyguard. However, they end up having to fake a date because his family doesn't know about his stalker, and again, he doesn't want to add any stress to his mom. And it goes from there. This is lovely. It is a small town fake dating romance. I would consider this like fade to black or clean romance. I loved this couple. Hannah is so capable at her job, but can be like vulnerable with Jack because he is just so easy to talk to. I adored the family and the ranch aspect. I liked the team she worked with. Well, most of them, but yeah, this was really cute. It really just read it at a time that I needed just a lovely book. And it just is that. It's lovely. Number 2 is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This is like I guess a general fiction book. This follows a reclusive children's author who quit writing for reasons that nobody knows. He resurfaces years later with a competition to win like his brand new book, which would change the winner's life. Lucy grew up reading Jack Masterson's books. They were her solace for like a lonely childhood. She ends up getting invited to join in the competition with the hopes to win because she wants to adopt a boy who was orphaned after the death of his parents. But others obviously want the book too, including book collectors, publishers, and the illustrator of the Clock Island series, Hugo Reese. I enjoyed how this showed how a book can be like so important, almost like a safe haven for like a child. I love that aspect. It is so heartwarming. It is just like feel good, heartwarming. I love the book references to like childhood books. I had all the feels while reading this book. It definitely made me happy. It made me sad. It made me hopeful. It just was lovely. And coming in at the #1 spot is The Right Move by Liz Tomforty. This is a contemporary sports romance. I absolutely love this book. It is the second book in the Windy City series, and this follows Indy. We know at the end of book 1 that Indy's boyfriend cheated on her and they broke up. In comes Stevie, Ryan's sister, and Indy's best friend to help. She gets Ryan to let Indy stay with him until she kind of gets on her feet. Ryan mostly keeps to himself, but recently became captain of the Chicago's NBA team, and his manager kind of doesn't have faith in him because he just sees him as he has nothing but the game, nothing but basketball. There is no outside life, and he just doesn't feel like that would be a good fit for the team. And so kind of to prove him himself, he says oh, I'm dating, and he ends up fake dating Indy. And I just love this. I loved how Indy was unapologetically her, and Ryan was here for it. Indy and Ryan were just beautiful together. That Indy is bookish and just bubbly and herself. I just love that aspect of it. I really loved just how quietly Ryan loved her. It's a quiet love. I don't know how to explain it other than he showed his love through actions, and I loved that aspect of it. It was just beautiful. There is a scene at the end that just pulls at my heartstrings that he does just to show his love for Indy. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. I definitely loved the friend group. Some of the tropes are obviously sports romance, fake dating, roommates because they do live together, so there's a bit of forced proximity as well. Best friend's brother, he is a cinnamon roll hero. I just loved every aspect about this book. It is so amazing. So those are my top 10 books for 2023. Let me know if we have any in common in the comments below. And if you don't want to leave anything, go ahead and leave a basketball emoji for my #1 book, The Right Move. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. Bye!